Okay, so I had an interesting question come through for the Q&A that we are giving away as part of the promotion for our Yoga Therapy for Arthritis book. And the question is, who are the leaders paving the way for Yoga for Arthritis research and findings? Which is an interesting question because I just yesterday returned from the Symposium on Yoga Research at Kripalu, which is a small research conference just of yoga researchers. And so whatever is happening that's on the cutting edge often shows up at that conference. And for those of you who are interested in the research that haven't ever been to the conference, it's phenomenal. The presentations are fabulous, and the conversations in between are just as fabulous. So I highly recommend it. Happens every fall at Kripalu. So in terms of yoga for arthritis specifically, the work that I've been involved in most recently over the past several years that I think is cutting edge is looking at the effects of yoga for arthritis, specifically in underserved communities. Because we have seen from prior studies that yoga seems to be safe, that people seem to stick with it, and that it has some benefits in terms of decreased arthritis symptoms and improved quality of life, mental health, etc. But there definitely are fewer people of color who practice yoga, and there are barriers to yoga practice for people living in underserved communities. So I think that research is incredibly important so that yoga can reach the people who stand to benefit most, because we know that arthritis symptoms tend to be higher in underserved populations. And that group is at National Institutes of Health, and Kimberly Middleton is the PI on that work, and she's just been excellent. Another important set of studies are in chronic low back pain, which is not necessarily arthritis, but certainly looking at chronic pain has implications for arthritis. And again, Rob Saper's group up in Boston has specifically been looking at yoga for chronic low back pain in underserved communities. So again, aligned with the other work that I already mentioned. Additionally, the group at Hopkins where I got my start, and we conducted the largest, most rigorous randomized controlled trial for yoga in osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, continues to do some work in this area. They're now investigating the role of MBSR, which has an asana component to it, and certainly meditation and mindfulness, and is aligned with these mind-body practices in people with rheumatoid arthritis who have anxiety. And so that's another important project that's going on. There was a paper done a few years back now by Leslie Ward, who is now at Oxford, a Delphi study to establish what experts in the field believe a yoga intervention should look like for people with musculoskeletal conditions, which is a broader umbrella than arthritis in particular, but definitely relevant and of interest. And I was fortunate to be a panelist on that Delphi. That one's definitely worth looking at. We have a collaboration going on in New York now at 3 major hospitals looking at a comparison between acupuncture, group acupuncture specifically, compared to group acupuncture plus yoga. And again, this is in underserved communities in various aspects of New York. It's not specifically looking at arthritis, but it's looking at pain, any sort of pain. And one of the major pain conditions that's reported in that group is arthritis. Additionally, there are a couple of systematic reviews being planned at University of Maryland, which is a big collaborator of ours. And there's a group in Germany led by Holger Kramer, who has churned out systematic reviews of all kinds over the years, some really important work coming out of that group, including looking at relevant concerns to yoga for arthritis. So I hope that's a brief summary of just some of the work that's happening in the field right now to keep an eye out for. If you have any questions at all about the research, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope that was helpful.